Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Go full screen here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunday Wire. I'm your host, Patrick Henningsen. We're streaming out live on Rumble, also on X, Facebook Live, YouTube, as well as the audio streams, alternatecurrentradio.com. Again, I'm your host, Patrick Henningsen. This is episode 566 of the Sunday Wire, this weekly omnibus news and analysis radio and TV program. And we have a very important broadcast today. We're going to be breaking down the current political situation in the United States, also internationally as well. We'll do that in the first segment. And in the Overdrive segment, in the second hour, we'll be joined by our teammates from Alternate Current Radio Network. I think we'll definitely have Hesher on the line, possibly Basil Valentine as well, who'll be rejoining us after a break, being away for a couple of weeks. And well, where do we start? Where do we start? And if you look at the show title for this week's Sunday Wire, those of you who've been following these issues for a while, you'll be familiar with a film by Aaron Russo, who was a Hollywood filmmaker, also a financier. Probably the most famous film he made was Trading Places. I think he was a producer of Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. That was back in the 80s. But he made a film called Freedom to Fascism. And we'll bring that up on stage. You can see the bottom is a title. That's just a little bit of a nod to the great Aaron Russo. And we thought we would say he was obviously ahead of the game, you know, and this kind of made its rounds on the alternative media at the time. This would be in the early 2000s, 2008, 9, 10. Sadly, Aaron passed away. He was, you know, a great voice, made a big impact on a lot of people before he moved on. And his film was quite a red pill for a lot of people. And this was promoted heavily by Alex Jones at the time. It's called Freedom to Fascism. America, Freedom to Fascism. And that's the title of today's program of the Sunday Wire. And this was meant to be kind of used to point at the time, it would have been this Bush administration was in power, and there was a technocracy coming into effect. This would have been things like the equivalent of the digital ID issue today, digital money, shutting off people's access by the flick of a switch, transhumanism, microchips, no buying or selling without the mark, that kind of thing. And the irony of this, of course, is that it's coming into full effect under Donald Trump in America. We can talk about Europe and the UK. That's certainly things are proceeding at a rapid pace, but we have to point out the irony that it's Donald Trump who supposedly ran as MAGA, ran as this sort of, you know, preserving our freedoms. And while there seemed to be a little bit of an improvement on some freedoms, we're talking about speech online and things like that, you know, moderate improvements, although there's just massive shadow banning right across the board, massive censorship on YouTube still, Google, the search engine Google, which is 98% of all internet searches, is completely rigged. Rigged against people like us, of course. That came in with Operation Owl in 2017 in April. But what's funny about this is it's quite obvious that this is happening under Trump. But there are people who've been co-opted as kind of MAGA, kind of magpies, if you will. And they're being paid incredibly well. And in return, they're basically promoting Trump as this sort of patriotic American, you know, freedom leader or something like that, when in fact it's the opposite. You are seeing actual, and the irony, of course, here is that the left have, and the progressives were screaming, Democrats screaming for a decade about the dangers of Trump being a fascist and authoritarian before he even got elected. His first term, he didn't seem to get up to much because he was on the defensive for 4 years. But he did one thing at the end, which is he did probably the biggest fascist move of modern history. He instituted one of the most vicious, most egregious crimes against humanity called Operation Warp Speed. And the reason the establishment, I think, selected Trump or allowed him to become president, because they knew that he was probably one of the weakest, and he was so on his back heels that he would do anything to try to ingratiate himself with the press or the public. So he embraced the COVID crisis like it was some kind of mission from God. And he allowed the pharmaceutical industry to fast track one of the most dangerous mass attacks on Americans and on the world, in fact, with the experimental mRNA jab, which cost untold lives and injuries. And that was Donald Trump who paved the way for that without asking any questions. For him, these were great companies. Pfizer, great company. Moderna, wonderful company. You know, he's just constantly singing the praises of these corrupt pharmaceutical companies that he allowed into the White House. He's doing the same with Larry Ellison during his second term. And he used the Department of Defense to basically organize the procurement and distribution of those vaccines. That was all done under the Pentagon. We exposed that. Some other people who are doing real journalism also pointed this out. And in Europe, it was NATO was used as the sort of underlying official mechanism, if you will, for putting this out on the European and UK-wide basis. Of course, you won't hear that from some of the MAGA media. Of course, this is way above their pay grade. But nonetheless, Trump proved that he could do for the establishment everything like their wildest dreams. Trump delivered for the globalists in ways that no Democrat probably could have done, not with that level of efficiency. And so they continued to use him in his second term. And he ran a populist campaign, but he has delivered anything but freedom during his first year. And this is the extraordinary thing. We're only in the less than the first year of the Trump administration, and he's got a very bad record so far. But the irony of this, of course, escapes a lot of people. Now let's go through exactly what we're looking at here. And it's very important that people pay attention to what we are looking at. And here, we'll bring this up on screen so people understand the depth of this. And we'll break it down. Here's the first move. Okay. A lot of you probably didn't know this because, of course, it's not going to get a lot of media attention. Why? Because this is something the establishment loved. Trump delivered a level of fascism here. Basically, Pete Hegseth, this sort of self-preening, tattoo-laden, second-rate weekend host at Fox, was gifted the job as the head of the Pentagon. Totally unqualified. And so don't be fooled by the American flag cravat. He's anything but a patriot. Okay, this guy is a servant of the establishment. Again, unqualified, doesn't know what's going on. Actually, the perfect person you want in charge of a $1.2 trillion Pentagon. So Hegseth and Trump said that mainstream reporters, we're talking about all the major outlets, they had to run their reporting by the Pentagon's press office before they could publish. These were the new rules. So the journalism pool walked out. So here's AP here. Journalists turn in their access badges to the Department of, well, it's called the Department of War. This is another insane thing that Trump has done. He's renamed the Department of Defense officially the Department of War. What does that tell you is coming? What does that tell you is coming? War. This is a president who lied to the American people on this facade of him being a peace president. Comes in first year, renames the DOD the Department of War. You couldn't make it up. Of course, the irony of this is lost on people like Alex Jones. They just haven't, or they're completely, have bought into the whole thing. But the mainstream press are out because they won't allow a Soviet-style system or a Chinese-style system where all reporting has to go through the government before it can be allowed to be published. This is insane. This is like, I think they had more press freedom during World War II under FDR, or maybe more freedom under Abe Lincoln as a Union president during the Civil War. But so this is absolutely unbelievable. Can you believe this? Have you not heard of this? Has anybody heard of this? Did you miss that one? Is this the first time you've heard this? That happened this week. So here's what the Trump administration have done. They've extended there's Hegseth there. See the little American flag cravat and his handkerchief in his breast pocket. This is just ridiculous. He might be flying. He might have adorned himself with the American flag, but Pete Hegseth, unfortunately, doesn't believe in the U.S. Constitution, the thing he swore an oath to. Maybe he didn't swear an oath. I'm not sure. To defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So when you attack the press, you're an enemy of the Constitution. Pete Hegseth has the nerve to wear an American flag on a handkerchief in his breast while he shuts off the free press, which is specifically delineated in the U.S. Constitution. It's named. It's one of the only countries in the world, if maybe the only country, where the free press is directly addressed in the founding document. And Pete Hegseth has just trampled on it. Of course, that irony, again, is lost on the MAGA crowd, intellectually challenged and corrupt. So here's the Trump administration's response. I mean, honestly, this is just getting funny and sad at the same time. So the War Department, new outlets for the War Department, out with the papers of record, in with Lindell TV. That's Mike Lindell, the guy who sells pillows and slippers. So he's now in. The Gateway Pundit, which is some of the articles on there are ridiculous, but it's just like second-tier internet. Post-millennial, that's famous for running anti-woke articles. So they've got the anti-trans stuff. So you've got the premier anti-trans, anti-Antifa website in the Pentagon now. Human Events, that's Jack Posobiec. I'm not sure what their forte is other than proselytizing for MAGA. And the National Pulse, that's Raheem Kasim, I think his name is. And again, just MAGA outlets, definitely not objective, totally partisan and biased, and somewhat unqualified to be covering some of these topics. Okay, you just look at their output. They're basically going to be cheerleading Trump policies, whether those be regime change wars or what have you. It doesn't matter. The listing also includes Turning Point USA's media brand Frontlines. Never heard of them. And influencer Tim Pool's Timcast, now is a Pentagon news outlet. I can't imagine what Tim Pool's going to contribute there in terms of being a watchdog. These are, and this, I love this one, Substack-based newsletter called Washington Reporter. Never heard of them. So these aren't watchdogs. These are lapdogs. These are lapdogs. These will be as bigger lapdogs for the Trump presidency, Trump administration, bigger lapdogs than CNN was for Biden and Obama and Hillary. Okay. Let me repeat that. These will be bigger lapdogs, not watchdogs, lapdogs than CNN was for Biden and Obama. Okay. Some of these half-baked news outlets that, they excel in anti-woke, anti-LGBT, anti-trans. I mean, whoop-de-doo. Congratulations. You've done well there, guys. But in terms of geopolitics, you're sort of like, I give you a 2 out of 10. And you're just going to be cheerleading whatever wars are coming down the pipeline, with this president who looks like, as we'll show you, hell-bent on launching more new wars. He's already launched 3, 4 new. If you count his first term, Trump launched a new war during his first term, which was he occupied Syria with U.S. troops. That was Trump, his first term, 2017. And it's funny because he used Obama's henchman to do it, Brett McGurk. That's what Trump did. That's how weak Trump was and clueless during his first term. He tried to launch a war against Venezuela, but failed twice. Two busted coups his first term. Did you hear that from Fox? No, you didn't. Also, Trump continued Obama's war on Yemen during his first term and bombed Yemen, continued to supply Saudi Arabia with everything. I even think U.S. pilots were probably flying the planes with Saudi flags on the side, just saying. And the other one was, Trump supplied lethal aid to Ukraine to advance that civil war, which led to the conflict in 2022. That was Trump. So Trump did plenty of warring on his first term. So this idea that Trump didn't drop any bombs or starting new wars in his first term is a lie. Is fake. It's MAGA propaganda. Okay, I'm just pointing out facts. If that hurts your feelings, fine. But you can't run with these tropes anymore, guys. Sorry. So now he's banned the press, or said you have to do Stalin-esque controls on coverage of U.S. wars. The press has to run its reports through Pete Hegseth's office to get a stamp of approval. How freaking fascist is this? But that's actually happening. That's actually happening. So the press walked out and they put all these flunkies in, which is a joke. I mean, pretty incredible. Don't know what to say. They're slightly better than the Israeli influencers that Netanyahu had at his pep talk when he said he was taking over TikTok. Okay, next up. Now this should raise alarms. Okay, what I just showed you was serious, unprecedented attack on the U.S. Constitution. Fine, but here we are. Welcome to this is basically combining the worst of Bush with the worst of Clinton and Obama. Trump merges the war on drugs with the war on terror in Venezuelan showdown. The Trump administration, their invocation of Al-Qaeda, so they claim Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and Hamas are running cells with the cartels in South America. I mean, total BS. Literally making up this worse garbage than we got under the neocons. Okay, that should really concern you. And these are the two lackeys behind him, Marco Rubio and the self-preening Fox host, Pete Hegseth, looking all serious and tough. Okay, these people, those are the basically tools that are going to implement this ridiculous debacle. So this is the most neocon administration, and probably more than Bush, because the rhetoric is so over the top. I mean, at least the neocons tried to hide it a little bit. I mean, Cheney tried to finesse it a little bit. Bush, not with these guys. Not when. We'll show you who's behind all this, by the way, in just a minute. Just stay with us. We'll show you who's behind it. So Trump takes one of the worst things in U.S. history, which is the war on terror, reinvigorates it, and pushing these fake stories that Al-Qaeda and ISIS and Hamas and who knows, Hezbollah is probably in there as well. I haven't watched Newsmax lately or One American News, so I'm not sure what other fake reporting they're injecting in here. Sleeper cells. Hamas sleeper cells in Mexico, hiding behind the taco van. Okay, that's what you get with these clowns. But nonetheless, he's doing it. So they're making this fake war on drugs narrative and pinning it to Venezuela to justify starting a war with Venezuela. A, to keep them out of the oil market, possibly steal some of their resources if possible, definitely regime change. So they have to make up a fake story to kind of make this, to sell this to the American people in the world, that Venezuela is a narco state. Okay, interesting. So it turns out they're also going for Colombia. Look at this. U.S. imposes sanctions on left-wing Colombian President Petro. So Trump's claiming that somehow this is a narco state as well. But before Trump was sworn in, Colombia was the greatest U.S. ally, third or fourth, debatable, depending on which numbers you're looking at, third or fourth biggest recipient of U.S. military aid. This goes back for a number of years. So clearly there's not problem between the U.S. and Colombia. What happened? We're going to show you what happened. Look at this. So I'm going to play you a video. So this is the same president, Gustavo Petro. So why is the U.S. suddenly attacking Venezuela and Colombia? These are the two. Well, I'll show you Colombia. Watch this clip. This is from the United Nations General Assembly. This is the Colombian president, and you'll be able to kind of put the dots together. Watch.
Y armas toca hoy no son cascos azules, no entrenados y a veces indispuestos para lo que toca. Es un ejército poderoso de los países que no aceptan el genocidio. Por eso invito a las naciones del mundo y a sus pueblos sobre todo, como parte de la humanidad, a unir ejércitos y armas. Hay que liberar a Palestina.
History shows NATO's willingness to act when it suits Western power. In 1999, under the banner of humanitarian intervention, NATO launched Operation Allied Force in Yugoslavia, citing the massacre of more than 8,000 Bosniak men and boys at Srebrenica in July 1995. Recognized later by the International Court of Justice in 2007 as genocide, NATO again moved in Kosovo, bypassing the UN Security Council, claiming to stop ethnic cleansing. In 2011, NATO enforced a no-fly zone in Libya after UN Security Council Resolution 1973 and carried out regime change, ending with the eventual brutal killing of Pan-Arab and Pan-African leader Muammar Gaddafi. The rationale was the, quote, responsibility to protect. Years later, Libya is still in civil war, suffering a humanitarian crisis as well as becoming a site of human slavery. Meanwhile, ex-Yugoslav republics still struggle with economics and political instability. But when genocide consumed Rwanda in 1994, killing more than 800,000 people in 100 days, no such coalition intervened. When war and genocide ravaged the Democratic Republic of Congo from 1996 onwards, killing more than 6 million people, the deadliest conflict since World War II, the world turned away. Today, Sudan faces the world's largest humanitarian crisis, with thousands killed. Yet the world does nothing. Gaza has been reduced to rubble, and reports confirm that Israel committed genocide and was using starvation as a weapon of war. Today, Israel is violating the so-called historic ceasefire, and dozens continue to be brutally killed. NATO and the UN Security Council are doing nothing. On his part, Colombia's President Gustavo Petro joined thousands in a rally in New York for Gaza, calling on the US Army to refuse Trump's orders and continue its complicity in genocide. And Washington, on its part, revoked his visa, punishing him for siding with the Palestinian people.
Invito a los ejércitos del Asia, de los pueblos eslavos que derrotaron con tanto heroísmo a Hitler, a los ejércitos latinoamericanos de Bolívar, de Garibaldi, que también tuvo uno en Italia, de Martí, de Artigas, de Santa Cruz. Ya sobran las palabras. Es la hora de la espada, de la libertad o muerte de Bolívar, porque desde Washington y la OTAN matan la democracia y hacen renacer la tiranía y el totalitarismo a nivel global. Hay que levantar la bandera rojinegra de la libertad o muerte que alzó Bolívar, sin olvidar el color blanco que levantó junto al rojinegro, color de la paz como esperanza para que haya esperanza de vida en la tierra y en el corazón de la humanidad.
So that's the Colombian president. This is why he's sanctioned, standing up against Israel and the U.S. for what they're doing to the Palestinians. Okay? Let's be clear. That's what this is about. And suddenly they're a narco state. Honestly, you couldn't make this stuff up. And let's talk about, Venezuela. Let's talk about Venezuela, that country. Suddenly, Venezuela became a narco state. This is a new development that nobody has seen before. It just manifested itself in the first year of the Trump presidency. Kind of bizarre, isn't it? So why is the U.S. so keen on overthrowing Chavez first, couple failed coups, and now Maduro? Interesting, isn't it? Let's take a look at that. Beside the fact that Venezuela defends the Palestinian cause, okay, you just saw the Colombian president there basically calling for deploying Colombian troops to protect Palestinians in Gaza as UN peacekeepers. Okay, this is a bridge too far for Israel. And of course, Trump takes his orders from Netanyahu. That's Trump's boss, Benjamin Netanyahu, in the Israeli lobby, who stamped their boot of authority in the U.S. Last month. Okay, I don't want to go into details, but that shooting, okay, just a very, very strong signal was sent. Okay, so what's the real story? What's the real story? 1993. Watch this clip. Watch this clip. Talking about narco states. Let's talk about narco states.
Who authorized the CIA to go into Venezuela?
We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela.
A ton of cocaine, pure cocaine worth hundreds of millions, is smuggled into the United States. Sound familiar? Not the way this ton of cocaine got here. According to what the former head of the Drug Enforcement Administration told Mike Wallace, this drug shipment got here courtesy of what he calls drug trafficking by the CIA in partnership with the Venezuelan National Guard.
Let me understand what you're saying. A ton of cocaine was smuggled into the United States of America by the Venezuelan National Guard?
Well,
in cooperation with the CIA?
That's exactly what appears to have happened.
Until last month, Judge Robert Bonner was the head of the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA. And Judge Bonner explained to us that only the head of the DEA is authorized to approve the transportation of any illegal narcotics like cocaine into this country, even if the CIA is bringing it in.
Let me put it this way, Mike. If this has not been approved by DEA or an appropriate law enforcement authority in the United States, then it's illegal. It's called drug trafficking. It's called drug smuggling.
So what you're saying, in effect, is the CIA broke the law. Simple as that.
I don't think there's any other way you can rationalize around it.
Back in the 1980s, the CIA was mandated by then-President Reagan to develop intelligence on the Colombian drug cartels. And so the CIA, with Venezuela's Guardia Nacional, or National Guard, set up an undercover operation, a drug smuggling operation in Venezuela that could handle the transshipment of the Colombian cartel's cocaine on its way to market.
So that was before Chavez. Because when Chavez came in the late 90s and early 2000s, that was the end of that arrangement. The CIA lost access to be able to traffic drugs out of Colombia via Venezuela using the military under the pro-U.S. government in Venezuela, the corrupt pro-U.S. government. Okay. Isn't that interesting? Didn't know that, did you? Why were they just so hell-bent on not just the fact that Chavez and Maduro were kind of socialists, but the big, and I said this many times, especially in the last 6 months, it was ever since Trump started attacking fishing boats in Venezuela and saying they were running drugs. The biggest drug dealers in the Western Hemisphere are the CIA and the DEA, working with cartels. Okay. Not Nicolas Maduro. Ridiculous. Total lie. And quite unbelievable that people actually believe this stuff. We just showed you a report from 60 Minutes from 1993. 1993. So back when the U.S. had its puppet in Venezuela, they were running untold amounts of narcotics. The U.S. government was trafficking, but not under Chavez and Maduro. And that's one of the reasons why the U.S. wants to get rid of them, because they want their puppet back in. You see how this works? And there's another aspect to this that you probably don't know, which we're going to show you. Okay. Who else is involved in Colombia during this time with U.S. forces and so forth? Who else is involved in Colombia? This might not come as a surprise to some people. It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Certainly didn't to me, but I've known this for years. Let's take a look. What's this say? Colombia shifting military ties, moving away from decades of Israeli-sponsored violence. What is the IDF? What have they been doing in Colombia for the last 20 years? Anybody? Who is trafficking Class A drugs from Latin America into Europe and the Middle East? Who is one of the biggest traffickers? Is it Israel? This is a legit question. Why is Israel so involved in Colombia? It's a good question, isn't it? It's a very good question. Do they have carte blanche to move product? That's a legit question, isn't it? Well, if the CIA do, I'm sure Israel does as well. So, but under Gustave Petro, that's not happening. And suddenly he's being sanctioned by Trump. And the U.S. is talking about, possibly starting a war in Venezuela and Colombia. Are you guys connecting the dots on this? Just saying. Is this new to anybody? If this is new for you, I mean, you can. There's much more. I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg, folks. If you knew the level of Israeli involvement in Colombia, amazing. And you understand this is a global mafia that we're talking about here, okay? And this guy and these clowns work for it, okay? These so-called patriots. Unbelievable. Such corruption. You couldn't believe it. So they're after Venezuela and Colombia because those countries are against Israel. And they're making a lot of noise in the UN. It's definitely Colombia is. And they're not allowing the Israelis in. And that's the bottom line right there, is this president is owned and operated by the Israeli lobby, by Netanyahu's office, by Mary Madelson. This is a billboard campaign in Israel. You see? Israel's got exactly what they wanted. They got their guy in there. His son-in-law is running all the property deals, along with the other Israeli agent or asset, pardon me, Steve Witkoff. Another of Netanyahu's selections. These people have sold America down the river for a couple of shekels and a bag of silver. That's kind of what it amounts to. This is one of the biggest coups, if not the biggest coup, in American history. And that guy is probably the weakest U.S. president, weaker than Biden on a certain level, because at least Biden had the excuse that he had dementia. Trump clearly doesn't have dementia, although his mental acuity is questionable of recent. But we'll put that aside for the moment. So here's how this clown managed to carve out a place in this administration is quite extraordinary. His name's Stephen Miller. I don't exactly know what his title is, but he basically plagiarized Joseph Goebbels in this speech. Again, quite unbelievable. The irony here is quite amazing. Let's listen to this. Completely unhinged. I would say it's probably one of the most dangerous people in U.S. politics, because he's trying to portray himself as some kind of a patriot. But this is fascism with a capital F right here.
Prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity. You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy. And
folks, I don't know what to say, but that's just pretty breathtaking right there. I mean, really, these people are out to divide the country, and literally plagiarized from a Goebbels speech. Nazi. And this is Stephen Miller, who's a Zionist. I mean, folks, it's just, the irony is just so incredible. So Trump's deploying troops on the streets of U.S. cities to do law enforcement, and he's wanting to federalize the National Guard under some kind of a executive order, claiming there's an emergency. So he's claiming there's an emergency with the war on drugs with Venezuela, fake, claiming that there's some kind of emergency that didn't exist in the last 10 or 20 years in U.S. cities, deploying the military against posse comitatus. You need a fake emergency to do that. This is what Trump's doing. It's beyond, it's not just a little bit fascist. They're wanting to reboot some kind of a war with Cuba, authorizing CIA regime change activities, multiple Latin American countries. This is a return to Henry Kissinger level and neocon level foreign interference, starting wars in the Western Hemisphere. Allowing the Israeli lobby to kill the First Amendment in the U.S. by policing speech. I mean, it's incredible. ICE running basically secret police. I mean, yes, there were open borders during the Biden administration, but you don't trample on due process to correct a problem from the previous administration. You create another problem by doing that. Not only that, you give the federal government power that it didn't have before. And the next administration that comes in, probably Democrat, they're going to retain those powers and use them against Republicans. And they're right. So they've created a tit for tat of sectarian and partisan division and abuse of power and fascism that will just roll on from one administration to the next. And Trump has got the tech bros, basically, he's given them a front row seat in the government. The whole sort of theatrical performance by Elon Musk. And of course, Musk isn't in there anymore because that was a total disaster. But him and Peter Thiel and all these people pushing for AI and digital IDs, Larry Ellison as well. He's given them the keys to the future of the country's administrations and governance. he has given corporate power. He's merged it with state power. He's merged corporate interests with state power. That, by definition, is fascism. It's not my definition. That's Benito Mussolini, the father of fascism. That's what Donald Trump has done. That's what this is about. Okay. And what's amazing about this, while this is happening, Israel, the Israeli Knesset, votes to annex the West Bank. And Trump said famously a few weeks ago, it's never going to happen. I won't let it happen. Well, the Israeli parliament just voted on it to annex the West Bank. So there'll be no Palestinian state. So all this is getting absorbed by Israel, including parts of Gaza. There's a clip going around with Witkoff and Jared Kushner basically giving the game away, saying they planned this 2 years ago. The real estate development deal. These people are so evil and corrupt. So J.D. Vance, the vice president, who I held a lot of hope for initially. I thought, okay, maybe he'll be Trump's intelligent better half. No, J.D. Vance has dropped IQ points. You know, it's plummeting. He's probably losing about 20 a week at this point. So he was asked about this Israeli vote. Trump won't comment on it because, of course, this is just total egg in the face of Donald Trump. Trump a few weeks ago, I'm not going to let it happen. It can't happen. They've done enough. No, they've done it. Donald, they've done it. They're doing it. So here's Vance. Here's J.D. Vance's when confronted by the press about this Israeli move. Here's what J.D. Vance. This is the best he could muster. J.D. Vance.
About it. Somebody told me that it was a political stunt, that it had no practical significance. It was purely symbolic. I mean, look, if it was a political stunt, it was a very stupid political stunt, and I personally take some insult to it. The West Bank is not going to be annexed by Israel. The policy of the Trump administration is that the West Bank will not be annexed by Israel. That will continue to be our policy. And if people want to take symbolic votes, they can do that. But we certainly weren't happy about it.
JD, do you think Israel cares what you think? Do you think Israel cares what the Trump administration's policy is? The Trump administration is Israel first, America second. And Israel knows this because they paid for that privilege. So what are you talking about? Someone needs to, as Matt Gaetz said, someone needs to do a wellness check on poor J.D. Vance. I think he's losing it. Sad. It's very sad. Israel doesn't care what you think, JD. They don't care, certainly don't care what Donald Trump thinks or says. Because what Trump says changes from one day to the next, or from between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He'll flip twice on a daily basis. It's not credible. It's a joke. Just like anything you say about, Israel can't do this or that. It's a joke. You allowed them to prosecute a genocide with your weapons in full view of the world. Okay. And this clip did the rounds. And this has gone viral on multiple platforms. It's the voice of Donald Trump. And when he was having his celebrity roast, jolly in front of the Israelis over there getting his marching orders from Netanyahu, just a total humiliation for America. This president is something else, what he has done. But here's this video has gone viral, and this should really make your skin curl. They overlaid Trump's voice over the hellscape of Gaza, and this is just an unbelievable video, and this really kind of brings it home. The level of corruption that we are witnessing here is just unprecedented. We'll try to see if we can find that clip. I don't have it to hand. I'll have to just do a quick search on that. But it is really just unbelievable how this has been able to get to the point that it has. It is really beyond the pale. Let me see if I have that Trump clip. I mean, you really have to watch this. Let me see. Here we go.
The best weapons in the world, and we've got a lot of them, and we've given a lot to Israel, frankly. I mean, Bibi would call me so many times, can you get me this weapon, that weapon, that weapon? Some of them I never heard of, Bibi, and I made them. But we'd get them here, wouldn't we? And they are the best. They are the best. But you used them well. It also takes people that know how to use them. And you obviously used them very well. But so many that Israel became strong and powerful, which ultimately led to peace. That's what led to peace.
Is that what you call peace, Donald Trump? Look at that hellscape. Look at that. That black mark on humanity. That's what Trump calls peace. They used our weapons well, said Donald Trump. This guy his brain is fried. Or either that, he is the most immoral, kind of like just bereft of any ethics or morals, more than any human you could ever present. I mean, it's just crazy for a U.S. president to talk like this. But what's even more disgusting is that there's no Democrats that have got a spine left to call him out for this. This is a black mark on America. It's a black mark on the presidency. I mean, what this guy is doing on a weekly basis. I mean, he put out a meme, this clown, this sorry excuse for a president. At this point, Donald Trump puts out a meme on his official account that shows him flying a U.S. fighter jet, wearing the crown of Burger King, and dropping feces on Democratic protesters, like SHIT, human feces. That's a U.S. president. So he has dishonored the office, dishonored the country, and but you know, if it wasn't bad that these people are so corrupt, the opposition is equally as corrupt. This is how bad it is in the U.S. So for the MAGA cheerleaders, I'm just going to say that, you know, you guys are sort of a waste of space at this point. You too are corrupt. You too have lost your way. I don't know what to say at this point. It's just disgusting. And speaking of corruption, let's see how far it goes. So Alex Jones, this is his newsletter. Trump backs strikes devastating Russian infrastructure. U.S. moves towards total war with Russia. It's almost like he is cheering this. I'm not sure. It's difficult to say, but a lot of excitement there from Alex Jones. Trump announces plan to invade Venezuela as government shutdown enters day 3. So are we against Trump invading Venezuela? So Alex Jones was the guy that pioneered people waking up, red pilling people on regime change and false flag back in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11. And suddenly he is basically Trump's kind of cheerleading section in the formerly independent media, which is now mainstream. It's hard to distinguish it from Fox. In fact, you can't. That's a bit of a problem. And it's unfortunate. We'll talk about that during the second part of Overdrive. Folks, I mean, we went a little bit longer than we wanted to on this, and certainly there's a lot more to cover with this. We want to talk more about Viktor Orban and what's happening in Hungary, but I think you've got the picture. That's the priority as we see it, folks. Freedom to fascism. The irony of this for conservatives, you know, those who identify as conservative, the irony of this is too much. It's happening under Trump. And you're destroying, you're stamping on the Constitution, the First Amendment, to protect Israel. Why are you doing it? Political power, access, career, grift. I guess it's worth it. I guess it's all worth it. Must be worth it. A career in Washington is important for people. I understand if you're married to politics and getting government positions and getting rich off the military industrial complex and the military media industrial complex, then yeah, I guess it's worth it. It's worth it. Sad, but that's where we're at. Let's take a break right now with the Alternate Current Radio Network and 21stCenturyWire.com. I'm your host, Patrick Henningsen. We'll see you in a few minutes. And here is Joseph Arthur. We'll be back before too long. And with Overdrive on the other side, I think Hesher's going to join us, possibly another colleague. We'll also highlight some of the top comments from our audience. We'll see you in a minute.
Brothers and sisters, we're being divided. Don't believe what they say. Hold on to your soul. Everyone divided in an echo chamber hole, saying that the enemy doesn't have a soul.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We had to do a hard break there on the intermission with Joseph's great track there, The Devil's Best Machine. Again, I'm your host, Patrick Henningsen. Welcome back to the Sunday Wire. This is episode 500 and I believe 566 of this weekly omnibus news and analysis radio and TV program. Again, brought to you at 21stcenturywire.com, alternaterradio.com. It's great to have you back. And let me bring on to the stage my co-pilot during the Overdrive segment here. This is Bryan McClain, host of The Boiler Room, also known as Hesher, his call sign Hesher, joining us on the live stream right now. Great to have you with us, Hesh.
Great to be here, Patrick. Really enjoyed the opening segment of the show there. A lot to think about when it comes to international drug running, the war on drugs, the geopolitical aspect of it, and the intelligence agency aspect of it. My goodness.
Yeah, I brought it all back to Aaron Russo. I just thought that was ironic, and what the reason I did that is because I'm getting all these news blasts from Alex Jones, and Alex promoted Aaron Russo massively back in the 2000s, and rightfully so. Aaron Russo is a real visionary, made a great film, really important for waking people up about the threat of a technocracy and what was coming down the pipeline. And it's just so sad to see Alex basically running a cheerleading section for Donald Trump. I mean, it's just, he would be the one that should see through all this. But that's why I brought Aaron Russo into the title, because, just a nod to a great activist, a great patriot, a great humanitarian, Aaron Russo, great filmmaker. And just to show how far the whole MAGA thing has gone off the cliff, okay? It's so far, it's gone. MAGA drove off a cliff. Donald Trump drove it off a cliff, and everybody following him is going off that cliff as well. And it's a fascist cliff. And what all the things that, you don't federalize the National Guard and then deploy them arbitrarily in U.S. cities for no freaking reason. And they turned Antifa into a much bigger brand with greater street cred than could ever have been done under any administration by declaring them a terrorist organization. I mean, it's just, they created something that actually wasn't there. They upgraded it. And to create a fake emergency, exactly how Obama would, create these fake domestic terror things through PACCON and using the FBI to drum up fake patriot, militia cells and direct. Every U.S. president's done it. And the point is, Donald Trump is like every U.S. president. The corruption we're seeing is, in fact, levels worse because if Gavin Newsom comes in as president in 2028, do you think he's going to repeal any of these executive powers?
He'll only repeal the ones that were meant to stroke the head of the MAGA dog. All right, there's some EOs that have been signed and some policy changes that the MAGA base very much appreciates, and I would say probably even the independents out there and some of the DGAF people. But that is a small percentage of the amount of powers that have been written into stone tablets at this point, injected into Palantir at this point. I mean, the technocracy aspect and the backwards technocratic neo-feudalist aspects, that's, in my opinion, what the main function of Trump 1.0 and Trump 2.0 is. And it's pretty brilliant in a way that, they can sell it to so many people and have so many people cheerlead for it. I don't think that the conservative base out there is hearing the sound of the IQs all hitting the floor as they don't have the ability to have any foresight, no forbearance. They're not asking for any forbearance as it comes to policies and wars and technocracy with the Trump administration, and no foresight for what future administrations are going to do with this absolute disaster.
We just see it's just a trend that rolls on from each administration is more power concentrated in the executive, less in Congress. And now you have it taken to another level. Do you remember that? I mean, the LA riots, we spoke about this before, Rodney King, that was like a big controversy, like whether to deploy the National Guard or not. And talk about out of control. I mean, LA was that's about as out of control as it gets. And still there was this restraint. And I thought to myself, we really do have a good checks and balances system in America that to have that level of restraint in the face of the total chaos and anarchy that was going on in Los Angeles at the time we're talking about in the early 1990s. And now, for like no real apparent reason, federalizing the National Guard, taking away states' rights, state sovereignty. To me, this is an attack on America, the fundamental DNA of America. For what? To flex? I mean, you can't work with local law enforcement and empower sheriff's departments. There's tons of things you can do to improve whatever you think is happening in Chicago or Portland. Plenty of stuff you can do. Using the military on U.S. streets? No. I'm sorry. I wasn't raised to think that was a good thing. But how was Trump raised? I don't know. Does he even care about any of this stuff? Has Trump really doesn't care about the Constitution. He likes to kiss the American flag, hug the American flag, all that performative stuff. But when it comes to the actual Constitution, that's the DNA of America. Where's the president or any of his lackeys on that? They don't seem to care. They really it's almost like they hold it in contempt. That's the feeling I get. And that's the vibe and the actions speak louder than any rhetoric or denials to that effect of what's actually happening. I can't even put it into words. That's just domestically. Let's not talk about internationally what's going on now.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's like the to me, at least in my analysis, the foil that they wrap themselves in to not talk about the fundamentals of this country, i.e. the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, is evangelical Christianity. And it seems so phony to me. And I feel so sad for the Christians out there that fall for that say, oh, well, we got to trust in Jesus. The problem's so big now. We have to just trust in Jesus and be happy that this administration is all about that. Right. Well, I'm not seeing the Christian values as it pertains to the international, geopolitical level, the warmongering level. It's not there. I just don't see it. And it's sad to predate on people's position right now in our culture and tell them, hey, you got to leave it up to God. You got to trust the plan. And we're just going to fix all these messes that these other idiots have made. Well, what are you talking about? I mean, we wouldn't even have to think about designating Antifa as a terrorist organization if the American system hadn't created them, coddled them, fostered them, funded them, directed them, this kind of thing. And, same could be said for some of the controlled opposition on the other side. None of these things seem to be 100% organic. At the very least, they are wrought with glowy Fed boys.
Well, Antifa doesn't actually have a formal management structure. It's not really an organization. It's a brand. It's a thing. But, the federal government does have an organization. And it's got trillions of dollars behind it. And if it's moving in to stop protests or stop free speech or, impose martial law, that to me is a much bigger threat than whatever these miscreants are doing in Portland. I just, you know, it's annoying in Portland. I've been to Portland, and it's like it's a certain political culture there that allows these things to go on. It's a beautiful city. It's sad, but that's nothing compared to empowering the federal government nationwide to deploy the damn military at the drop of a hat for whatever reason. I mean, are they going to deploy them to campuses to stop anti-Semitism? Like, when is that going to happen? Is that next?
Of course it is. Of course it's next. And, again, it's like, yeah, it's not organized, but that's the beauty of what they've created here, right? Like it's the amount of plausible deniability in the whole setup of it is just, you could do whatever you want with it. It makes the entire topic very malleable, very semper gumby, if you will. So, and it's the same thing with the overall war on terror, right? It's like, oh, well, we just designate people here and there. Oh, look, there's a boat. That must be a narco boat. Designate, boom, warheads on foreheads. Like that's what it's like. It's, oh, we designate this, we designate that. We proscribe this, we allow that, and never mind just the actual rule of law. Like Antifa would be fine. Most of Antifa probably is fine. They like to scream and yell and honk kazoos and this and that. But then there's the other wing of them, for whatever reason, that like to punch people, that like to hit people, that like to dox people, that like to throw milkshakes full of cement at people. Those kind of agitators, well, it's easy to deal with them, right? We have a legal system for that. We have a law enforcement system
criminal
for that.
damage, assault, battery. Those are crimes. There's laws on the books for that. And you deploy and you arrest and you whatever, try them, put them through hearings and jail them if necessary. I mean, that's it's always been like that in the U.S. It's always been like that. But see what they've done now is by going fascist, they've legitimized in a way Antifa in their message in a way that was never. It's so clear now, and this could fuel genuine opposition. But then obviously, it just takes one Fed bomb or a real bomb, and all of a sudden, more crackdown, more martial law, more fascism. It's a vicious cycle, and there's ways you deal with this stuff. I mean, one of them is the government doesn't actually do fascism. That's probably a good plan in my book, is not to do actual fascism. But Trump and Miller and these nutcases have got other things in mind. It's like the self-awareness isn't there, or they know what they're doing and they just don't give a toss. I don't know which it is. Maybe it's both, but the results are not good.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's almost like there was a memo that we missed for a meeting that was government wide, where they said, hey, actually, we hate all the people in this country, and we find them to be idiots, morons, and dupes, and we want to extract everything we can from them and make their lives as confusing and austere as possible in the process, and maybe even take some of them just right off the planet.
Okay. Did you know about this story, Hesher? About what Hegseth did to the Pentagon?
No, not until I started watching the show this morning. I was a little bit blown away.
That kind of blew me away. I have to say, I didn't think this was possible. I mean, that's Chinese sort of level media management.
It really is.
That's the Trump administration doing it. I mean, and so they walked out, and it's there's sort of, all the mainstream media is fake news. Oh, the fake news media and whatnot. Call them what they want, what you want. They are war shills, but they do have national security career journalists who know everything about everything, and you can't replace AP, New York Times, and Washington Post with freaking Gateway Pundit, Human Events, and I mean, and Tim Pool. I mean, this is we're getting to the idiocracy level here, Hesher.
Mhm.
I mean, so this is like, how can you do this in America? Say that the press can't report on U.S. military activity unless it's the reports are approved by the U.S. military. And so they walked out, and Trump's saying, "Oh, look at these fake news walking out." No, this is a level of actual fascism, what they're doing here. And then replacing them with MAGA cheerleading websites. This is, I mean, a level of bonkers that I honestly I don't know what to say here. It's just something.
I don't either. I mean, I get it. You know, I'm probably in the very early guard of Americans that completely turned on mass media, right? Like, I'm part of that wave, just like you are, and many of you watching are. But what we wanted, the reason we did that, was not because Donald Trump came along and said, fake news is a thing now. It's all fake. And if you go back and you listen to Pat and myself and our colleagues, like in those years, like go back to 2017, 18, we had so many broadcasts where we were lampooning, sometimes even applauding Donald Trump for pointing some of these things out. And it just was like, okay, maybe this is a turning point. Sorry for the pun. But it wasn't. It was absolutely not. He took the concept of propaganda, right? That's the main thing. When we say fake news, we're talking about lies and propaganda that end up hurting people, killing people, and making our freedoms less and our country lesser. And he rode that train. It was like he jumped on what we were trying to say about propaganda and spray painted a MAGA sign on the side of it and rode it like Dr. Strangelove right into the ground for ground zero for truth. Boom, big explosion. And now look what we have. I mean, seriously, like you were saying, Pat, if Gavin Newsom or some other libtarded scumbag is the next president, are they going to do the same thing? I mean, Gateway Pundit, Mike Lindell, Post Millennial, Human Events, National Pulse, Tim Pool, are they going to have to put their stuff in little cardboard boxes they got at Home Depot and stage a walkout in the next administration? We're just going to see this pantomime over and over again every time the pendulum shifts now?
Yes, that's right. That's exactly what we're going to see. You see these idiots. These people are fucking stupid. What do any of these? What is Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, or My Slippers? Is it My Slippers now? My Pillow. What does he know about Ukraine and Russia? And what's he going to, is Lindell TV? Is his reporters going to give a fair shake on Gaza and Israel? No, no, I'm afraid not. You know, this is good for Israel. Clearly, that's probably one of the main reasons, by the way, that this has happened. Sorry to bring it back to that point again, but our government in America is completely owned and operated by a foreign lobby. It's kind of obvious at this point. So Trump is kind of, in that sense, a traitor. Sorry to use the T word, but I mean, it's pretty bad at this point. So, I mean, anybody that's going to shut down free speech in America on behalf of a foreign government, this is, attack on the U.S. Constitution. Domestic enemy number one becomes the president, and that's problematic. So you extend that to the press. The press get it wrong a lot. Most of the time on wars and foreign policy, they do. Usually they're shilling for the administration, Democrat or Republican. But things are so bad right now with the Palestinian Gaza thing. It's so disgusting that even the mainstream media have to start pushing back on it. And this is the reaction of Trump and Hegseth, who all reports suggest they're planning a war in Iran before Christmas or at least by March. So that could spiral out of control. And so they want to basically put a clamp on press, that they can't even report on anything unless they get their articles approved by a second-rate Fox News weekend host, Pete Hegseth, unqualified to be head of the DOD, selected by Mary Madelson and Netanyahu because he was a Third Temple cultist. He's a red heifer Third Temple guy with the cross of Jerusalem tattooed on his chest, a nutcase, a religious fanatic. That's why he was selected ahead of 100,000 other highly qualified military people and generals. He was a major reservist, company leader at best. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. You know,
are they gonna? I don't mean to interrupt, but are they gonna? This will escalate, right? Like if this is the new norm, the new abnorm, this will escalate, right? It won't next time or the time after that or the time after that. It won't be journalists staging a walkout and turn in our badge so we can get this all on camera. It's going to be the journalists are like Ruckus said in the chat, canceled at phase 1,
arrested,
phase 2 arrested. Exactly. Why not just when the new administration comes in? Why waste all everybody's
this administration?
Time?
This administration.
Every
it's just
time.
year 1. We're just in the first year.
Just bring a bunch of handcuffs. Bring a bunch of handcuffs every time a new administration comes in and just arrest everybody from that they didn't like from the time before, to include the journalists.
They will be raiding journalist office like Obama did. Okay. If this is Trump's first year, by year 2, or if they launch World War III, journalists will be arrested. Offices will be raided.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen.
Yep. Plan on it.
It's going to happen. And this is the problem. When you put somebody who's unqualified into such a high-powered position, they will do anything to keep that position because they know that they shouldn't be there. And so he will do and abide or go along with anything. This is a guy who is completely obsessed with his image, a self-preening narcissist, underqualified, promoted way above his level of incompetence. He will do anything and follow any order, no matter how unconstitutional it is. Like this. This is, you resign. If you're told to do this, if Hegseth was told to do Chinese style press controls on the Pentagon, you resign. If you've got any honor and you really believe the oath which you swear to, defending the U.S. Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, then you should resign on principle. No, I want the job because the power of it, the power. This is when you put unqualified people into high positions, this is what you get. History shows it.
Yeah, it's like early version of Camacho once again.
Idiocracy, insane, completely insane. So I guess Tim Pool's going to be there with his hat.
Yep.
In the
he'll
front
have
row
his beanie on for sure.
That's and so how about this one, Hesher? Trump merges the war on drugs with the war on terror against Venezuela. I mean, Al-Qaeda, so Sarah Adams, talking points, Al-Qaeda and ISIS and Hamas sleeper cells working with the cartels ready to leap over the southern border. What a gargantuan galactic level of BS. I am not putting anything in the swear jar this week. I've been told not to. It's a galactic level of BS. Totally fake. But Fox, Newsmax are reporting like this is fact. I mean, this is Camacho level idiocracy here. I mean, even Bush didn't go this far. Imagine the neocons couldn't muster this level of ridiculousness.
Even Nancy Reagan would be blushing right now.
Oh, this is the worst of Clinton, the war on drugs, the worst of Bush, the war on terror, and the worst of Obama. And you roll into one, and this is Trump. Of course, he didn't campaign on any of this, did he? No.
No, quite the
No.
opposite.
This is all surprise for us. A little bit of a surprise. Are you getting buyer's remorse? Because a lot of people should be getting buyer's remorse at this point.
A lot of buyer's
We're raising
remorse
the
out
alarm,
there.
folks. We're just raising the alarm here.
Yeah. No, this is just unbelievable. I mean, back to the journalists, we are talking about the first amendment here, okay? So that's not just some journalists that we don't like. Let's set that aside. I see all those people with those boxes. Haha. Yes. I like to see that because a lot of those people have lied to me and gaslit me and forced me to do hours of analysis to uncurl their wicked lies. And there they go. Yay. No, not yay. That is a broken system. Yes, it is a broken corporate media. Yes, it is a Zionist oriented media. Yes, it is a warmongering media. Yes, it is a civil war ideology stoking media. Yes, but they are covered by the First Amendment, and so am I, and so are you here in the United States. So that is what's under attack, not these dummies from CNN. Yeah, they're the poster child for it, but we're talking about freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to gather, freedom to protest, freedom to make our grievances public. Those things are all at stake now. They have been for a long time. Many would argue they've been gone for a long time, and I might be with you on that. But set that aside for today. Massive jeopardy right now. This is a massive jeopardy.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of Tim Pool comments in the.
They love your hat, Timmy.
It's very popular, that hat. It's such a great look. Badly drawn boy. So it's some people say it's a tiny hat. No, it's a big hat. Apparently, could be a shrinking beanie. Then it could become then he becomes Ben Shapiro at that point. Really,
right? Don't put it in the dryer, dude.
Definitely don't put it in the dryer. Don't be careful with the extra spin cycle, bro. Wow, this is what happens when you don't inhale. Was that Clinton, wasn't it?
Yep.
It was Bill. Yeah, that was Bill. So anyway, the comments are weighing in now, and what do you guys think about this? Trump, the no war president. He started 2 new wars. He's got 3. He started 3 new wars, and it's only 12. We're not even 12 months in. He's gonna blow through Obama's record.
But he says he stopped 7. So do we have to start doing algebra to keep track of it?
No, he said he stopped 8. Apparently, there's one we didn't hear about. I think it was like Micronesia versus the Solomon Islands or something. There was a little. Trump claims that he brokered a peace deal there as well.
Well, that'll make Americans happy who have never heard of those places.
Yeah, Captain Chaos. Well, there can never be any power above them to keep a one in check. That's the problem. It's the problem with the federal government. U.S. system is supposed to have a significant amount of power in the state's hands and Congress. That's the thing. It's the thing that keeps the U.S., the American eagle, flying steady. And this president doesn't care much about it, apparently. Unfortunately. Yeah, bring back Jen Psaki. Why not? Why not? Should be press secretary. At this rate, I would say so.
Isn't she busy doing podcasts? I mean, that's what everybody does now, I guess. The famous people podcast thing.
Steve Miller's wife does a podcast. She bags all the exclusive interviews. I mean, that's a little bit weird, isn't it? The president's close advisor. They're sending people to do interviews with his wife. It's kind of stupid, ridiculous at that point. I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, Anderson Cooper he'll probably be in there. He'll be right in there by the time this administration's done. Trump will have, like the Borg, he'll have assimilated all of those old adversaries there. Cooper's not an adversary. He supports all of this, all of it. You can be sure of that. So what do you think about, you guys, what do you think about the Department of War? That means war is coming. That's the only conclusion, like logical conclusion, is that if you rename the Department of Defense as the Department of War, that means that this president's planning for a big war, more war, or there's just going to be nonstop wars for the next 4 years. Is it? Did I vote for? Who voted for that? Did anybody vote for that? No, you voted for the opposite, and you get. Unfortunately, you got John McCain. Got John McCain.
You thought he was dead. Nope.
Alive and well. The propaganda was more effective when the Department of War was called the DOD, and when corporate journos had the pretense of being independent from the government and the military-industrial complex. Yeah, absolutely, and that's the whole gist of this dynamic.
Yeah.
In a way, Hesher, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, Hesher, but in a way, this is kind of a big mask-off moment.
Yeah.
And it sort of exposes things on a whole nother level. Like we were exposing the hypocrisy, right? All these years of them painting a certain facade, but doing something completely different. Now you have the mask off. And it's almost like, the horns are coming out in full view. Department of War, we are going to start wars. Is this better or worse in your opinion?
It's worse in the sense that we have gone so far away from where we were told we were headed, where we wanted to go as a society, as an America. But that being the case, I guess this might be a controversial answer, but I would say it's better. I much prefer them having a title that is fitting, but it's very frustrating on the other hand to see Orwellian doublespeak become the normal and see Orwellian doublespeak influence so many people back into the blue pill area, the new Overton blue pill area, which is much punchier than it used to be. But yeah, I appreciate the fact that they call it the Department of War now, because I know one thing that goes with war is propaganda. And hopefully other people are realizing that too and saying, oh my gosh, okay, we now have a Department of War, so we have to look at most information as potential propaganda.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. So this is just it's sort of a fast track red pilling of Gen Zers for starters. I mean, they're really getting it. But yeah, I think it seems like an obvious question, Hesher, what I just asked, but in a way, it's not so obvious. It's not as easy as one would have thought. It's actually much more complicated. This is an interesting comment here. Yeah, it's just like that knucklehead that's in charge of the security treasury. What's she talking about? Blowing boats off Venezuela. What the hell is he? It's a bit incoherent. I don't know if I get the gist of that. Anyway, we're going to move on here. This is similar phenomenon to renaming the DOD Department of War. The Pentagon beat journalists already, did propaganda, and now Trump and Pete are making it explicitly so, weakening the propaganda. Is that kind of what you're saying, Hesher?
That's exactly what I'm getting at. Like when the emperor has no clothes, a lot of people think that's cool. That's shiny, cool. We had a ding dong in the streets or whatever. But a lot of people will also say, oh, look, the emperor is walking down the street naked. That is hilarious and stupid, and maybe I shouldn't listen to him.
That's Pittsburgh Dude 87. Intelligently, coherently made that point concise. Thank you. You get high marks for that comment, Pittsburgh Dude. Appreciate that. And America for Sale says World's End. First invade and wantonly slaughter natives so brutally it makes BLM and civil rights and the Holocaust complete jokes. Yeah, we're going back to the few hundred years there. Fair play. It is it's up for discussion and definitely needs to be acknowledged, no doubt. But anyway, we're dealing with 2025 at the moment. And Viva Fry. Oh, please don't even start. Viva Fry. Don't bring him in. Anyway, under the next administration, the quote news outlets will be canceled. Well, or under this administration, at this rate, they're moving pretty quick, Hesher.
Yeah.
This is so less than 12 months we're in here.
Do you think we're gonna get a press pass invite at this point? I mean, kind of doubt it. And remember all the hope that people had when Tim Pool first walked into the, they had those new seats in the press briefing room, and it was like, for a few months there, once that started, it's like, oh, here's so and so, here's Tim Pool, oh, here's so and so from Gateway Pundit, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, cool, like there's actual independent and alternative journalists there now, and they're asking slightly harder questions to the little porcelain doll that's up there leading the microphone, and yeah, this is Rebel News or Lapdogs, good one.
Yeah, so we got a federal judge involved here. I think we're talking about DOD. Yeah, there is potential legal pushback in process right now. This commenter here, U.S. Navy vet. Matter of fact, all this has been stopped now and blocked by a federal judge that he can't lay off any of these people, and most of these real reporters quit. Those guys with the boxes, I believe, quit. Yeah, but it's the principle of it. We're not talking about whatever the process result in the end is. This is a major power play by a federal government that's unprecedented. At least not during. There's been no congressional declaration of war. Now, FDR might have potentially under wartime powers during Second World War. There would be tighter controls on the press. Certainly, that was a case. Lincoln shut down 50 media outlets during the Civil War. He shut down 50 newspapers, 50. So there was no messing around in the North during the Civil War. But that was an existential, event for the United States. What is the existential threat to America? That's from the outside right now. I don't see it. I see an existential threat from the inside, however, and that's what we're talking about here. And that's Hesher. That's what we've been talking about since we started. Since we stuck a mic in front of our mouth.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who's president. It doesn't matter what party's in power. That you got to have principles. You either believe in sovereignty, you either believe in these founding fathers' principles and the U.S. Constitution, or you don't. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
You either believe Congress should have the power of the purse and Congress should declare war or not. Pick your side. And there's people right now that are picking the side of power because it's expedient and it's lucrative. And they're trashing, ditching all their principles they claimed that they held higher than the Democrats.
And because they're angry, that's the other thing. They're angry, and much of their anger is righteous, but a lot of it is base level. A lot of it is 2016 level things that they're mad about, right? The 4 years of open borders, the 100,000 people a year dead from fentanyl, the raise in crime rate. You know what I mean? Like, I think back to 2022 when we were doing TNT every day, and it was like after the red wave didn't happen in the midterm elections in 2022, people were mad at conservatives, were mad at their representatives. They were mad at Fox. They were upset. They thought, they had been cheated again. And they looked at the lackluster performance of their people on Capitol Hill, and they started using a term that, was sort of relegated to people like us for a long time, which is uniparty. People were mad on both sides in 2022, and they started calling it a uniparty. And then as soon as that weird event in Butler happened and Donald Trump fakely had part of his ear shot off, at least that's my opinion.
Fight.
Grift. That uniparty,
it's kind of weird, that whole thing.
That uniparty talking point is just gone amongst mostly everybody. I don't see people, outside of our circle here, to include you, me, and you watching. You just don't hear that term thrown around as much. And I was kind of like, okay, cool. Maybe people are starting to get it, back in 2022. And, what's Trump 2.0 going to be at that point? I don't know. Is it even possible amid all this lawfare? I don't know. You know what I mean? They really left us with a lot of question marks at that point in time. But that idea of the unit party has completely fallen off the table at this point. And now it's more obvious than ever when you look at the political Zionism factor and the geopolitical factor.
Well, yeah, true. It that has made it massively obvious and brought things really to the surface. Big gaping issues to the surface. Now they're coming after me here in the comment section here. Says, where's Patrick been? This has been going on since I was in the military, that they can't report what they want to report. That always has been the rule. What comes out of the battlefield Pentagon. We're not talking about the battlefield. You're talking about embedded reporters in Iraq. Yeah, of course, that this has been, we've trolled through this over the years. And in fact, that policy came in before we even had our website. So you're talking about, 2003, 4, 5, 6, those Gulf War, the Iraq War policies under Donald Rumsfeld, as I believe he was defense secretary at the time. So that was embedded reporters. That's for in the field. That's on the ground with U.S. Attached to U.S. military. Definitely, they had press controls. We're talking about in the Pentagon, press briefings in Washington. That's what we're talking about here. Not press corps that are attached to U.S. units in the field. So this is different. This is another level of control. I think at the narrative level, at the policy and narrative and policy level. That's why this is different. Okay. I think that embedded nonsense still goes. Unfortunately, that's a bad precedent. But the U.S. has done well to officially stay out of wars, if you noticed. Officially, they're just running proxy wars now for ever since Iraq and Afghanistan. So, yeah, it's a different issue. But yeah, I we'll give you some leeway, U.S. Navy vet, on that. It's a worthy topic to bring up, and I appreciate that.
No,
however, yeah,
it is, and I would just like to add that we understand that and we know that, and that's why we've gone to great lengths, and by we, I mean 21 Wire, ACR, and you, the audience, to support 21st Century Wire so that people like Patrick and other people that work with 21 Wire can go to these places, can actually go. Patrick has been to Iran, he's been to Syria, he's been to Lebanon, you know what I mean? Not just and that's in his normal travels and upbringing, but also to do journalism. Like we sent Patrick to Aleppo like as it was being liberated, basically, when it was in the sort of final phases of that. And that was an amazing thing. That was an amazing thing that this audience brought to reality with their support. So I take Navy Vet's point, and I respect Navy Vet. I'm a fan. But yeah, we've actually had to work around that so that we could get eyeballs and boots, on the ground to talk about these things and analyze these things ourselves. And that's been expensive. It's been dangerous. We've really gone out of our way, Patrick in particular, to make sure that our analysis is not muddied by retarded policies like that.
yeah. And what it does is it just gives us a little more depth and perspective. Then, so when we're talking about what's going on now, we can compare it to what just happened before and before that and before that, with a degree of accuracy in how we see the situations and the dynamics, political, military, geopolitical, all of that. So we do know what we're talking about, is what Hesher is saying. Got a lot of experience looking at all these different situations and events, including domestic terror. We know the dynamics very, very well. And Yeah, this is it's all the podcasters who will convince young people. Yeah, the podcasters are the new kind of mainstream influencers in terms of narrative management. 100%. I did find it interesting, Hesher, that Theo Vaughn flipped on Israel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had Marjorie Taylor Greene on recently, breaking down AIPAC.
Yep.
Joe Rogan flipping to an extent also.
Rogan flipping. So quite a few. In fact, the biggest ones flipping. The only holdouts, of course, are Tim Pool. And again, this guy is like a mercenary. I mean, is that just goes where the money is, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, Gen Z is being replaced by H-1B Indians. I mean, that's just cruel, that comment. That's another one of those black cats there. BGBG617.
We've had a couple of sweet little LOL cats here today. Big shout out to the LOL cats of Sunday Wire.
And World's End, again, active commenter here. And remember, the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. Yes, as famously said by JFK, right?
Yep.
Have you seen that the IDF shoulders? It's always pointing. They made so many memes out of him. He was the one from the hospital. He's always pointing at some. They superimposed him over Kennedy's limousine. He said, "There's a Hamas base behind the president." I know we shouldn't joke and laugh about these things, but I mean, well, yeah, it's pretty effective, that meme. It kind of gets the message across really well. Again, World's End here. Now we come for all your gold and Stalin all your grain. Interesting. It happened before. America confiscated gold during the Second World War, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's interesting, isn't it? Indeed.
Yeah. Good thing most of us don't have any gold or grain.
Yep. No gold, no grain.
Come and take it.
WEF is Mao telling the world all their 5-year plans where millions will perish. I mean, you can talk about the WEF all you want, but I see tech bros running this White House. That's what I see. And all those tech bros are the darlings of the WEF. So the WEF is running the Trump administration, whether you like it or not. Palantir, WEF. What's the other one? Neuralink, WEF.
Oracle, Ellison.
Oracle. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's endless. And Bezos, Zuckerberg. Who is in the front row? Sundar Pichai from Google. Who is in the front row of Trump's inauguration? All WEF darlings. Right? So what happened to, we're going to stop the globalists. We're going to stop Trump stopping the globalists. I'm not doing an impression of anybody, by the way. It's a joke. This is a complete joke at this point. The whole thing is a joke. Fox News has already state-run another cat. We've got all these very smart feline pets in our comment threads.
Smart cats.
Smart Cat says Fox News is already state regime media. Kind of is. Will you talk about digital ID in the UK? Yeah, they're ramming it through in the Europe and the UK, and it's bad.
Whether you like it or not.
It's really bad, but there's been great pushback against it, and we're all very vocal on it. We're covering that a lot. UK column is covering that a lot, and we'll increase the coverage on that in the next few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. We had Basil with us 3 episodes back, I think, and we unleashed Basil. We unlocked the cage door, and he really gave that one what to. We'll definitely be coming back to it.
Jack Gamble clearly states there's not enough gold in the world to stop what's coming. What is coming? Stop what? Donald J. Trump is tracking like another fascist leader in world history. Tracking like a fascist leader. That's what we're saying. Reading the data points. That's what we did in the first hour. You guys, you might not like the conclusion. I'm not afraid to come to a conclusion. I guess that's a difference between this show and other people that might have the data points, might sort of say, yeah, but no, we're data points, conclusion. Deal with it. And we're doing that to raise the alarm early. Wish Alex Jones would do it. but he is on the Trump train, unfortunately.
Do you hear InfoWars is getting shut down this week?
Nope.
Yeah, he lost his appeal, and the courts will be there confiscating all of his gear, or agents of the court, I guess. I'm not really sure how it works.
But he said that twice before.
Well, he just lost his appeal, and they apparently are coming this week to shut it down.
Well, maybe Trump will save him.
I wonder. You would think that might be something that he would do, seeing as AJ did so much stumping for him and still continues to, run cover for a lot of things going on. But yeah, I kind of doubt it. I have my doubts. I think they'll leave him.
I support Alex's right to be there and his free speech and free press and all that. 100%, 120%. I vehemently disagree with his sycophantic, MAGA cheerleading when it goes against a lot of the principles that Alex himself pioneered in the early 2000s. I got a problem with that. I have to say the hypocrisy is too much.
Yeah, causes a lot of dissonance for those of us that have been watching him for a long time.
I love this. Is a great comment. Again, one of these cats. Gulf of Mexico renamed to the Gulf of Tonkin. That's a great comment right there. It's completely mindless, but I love it for some reason. As we're talking about false flags, this is a good point here. I don't know what anyone does for money, but its future. Who is enforcing what by what firm or operation or conglomerate currently rigging all the markets? Big question to me. It's a big cartel. The banks are a cartel. They're all rigging the market. Trump and his guys are rigging the market. They've got their token coins. These people are just rinsing it. In a way, Hesher, they are angry. They want revenge. They feel like we have a right to get rich because we've been robbed and screwed by the system for all these years, all the lawfare, all that stuff. I'm sure the Trump family fortune shrunk in those first 4 years and maybe a couple of years after, but they feel like they're making up for lost ground. And again, that's a lesson to the Democrats. You created a monster. You created a monster. It's your fault. You can complain all you want about Trump, but you made him. You got him elected. Hillary got Trump elected. She was so bad. And Obama was so corrupt. You made Trump. And then he became the fascist that you claimed he was when he wasn't. Now he is. And what are you going to do about it? What are you guys going to do about it? Nothing. It's your fault. You made it. You made Trump. You made this version of Trump, you made him. The media, Democrats, the corrupt courts, all the lawfare. You created him. You created MAGA. So we can acknowledge that is true. Obviously, the Israel issue is an X factor, though. It's the existential threat to IPAC's control of the U.S. that is at stake. That's why they go overboard with the propaganda and censorship. 100%. 100%, says Alexander G-P3Z. So, yeah, interesting. Let's see if there's anything compelling here going on in the comments. We're going to catch up some of the latest here. I'm of the opinion Trump was selected, says Milton Sophie. Trump was selected. Yeah, you could say Trump can do things that other presidents can't on behalf of the establishment. It's counterintuitive, but you have to look at it that way. That there are competing power cartels within the establishment. You have competing groups competing for dominance in certain areas of core interest, and but there's some people that just win. They just keep winning anyway, like Bezos, Amazon Web Services, Palantir. They're providing the back end. They're going to win no matter what. Trump's hatred for Thomas Massie. What's this? Makes him look like TM even more.
No, makes that person like Thomas Massey even more.
Like Thomas Massey. Yeah, I love Thomas Massey. I mean, that we need more Thomas Masseys. We need Thomas Massey to be president. That would be nice, but he wouldn't get elected. He'd get destroyed, wouldn't he?
He can't even stay in office when Trump's in office.
He's getting primaried by the Israelis. I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And Trump is basically attacking him and Tucker. I mean, this is just really bad form. Just because they disagree with you and your failed economic policies, that you then go attack Thomas Massey, who is a constitutionalist and a patriot and an actual libertarian, and a fair guy is not taking any IPAC money, and you're going to attack him. That doesn't look good. That's not a good look. But I guess it's a good look for Netanyahu, and that's all that matters. So there we are. They murdered Thomas Massey's wife. Well, there's a lot of speculation around these things. We can't comment on that for certain, of course. But a lot of questions in the air over some of these situations.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah. The attack on Massey is more about Israel. You're damn right it is, just like the attack on Colombia is. And to some degree, Venezuela. Yeah. My brother, Mike Tyson. Your actual brother or your brother? Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Good point. Or as Robert Burns famously said, the Scottish poet, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. They do. This Trump endorses Lindsey Graham. Did that happen?
I did hear something about that. I don't know the details though.
Well, you really just fallen. You've really fallen from grace at that point. Argentina gets a bailout from Trump. Bad.
Yeah.
You got money for Argentina, but not money for America. Okay, fine. America first. My ass. That's not a swear, is it?
Nah.
Oh, here we go, Hesher. I know you'd like this one. Can I repeat that on air?
Yeah, I think so.
Trump purchased a new ear from Temu. They did have a sale going, actually. I did hear about that. The prosthetics. So
JP 2003, don't be such a conspiracy theorist. It's just the lobe. It's just the lobe. It heals fast.
That might be in the running for top comment this week, actually. It's a very mysterious account, JP 2003. Very mysterious there, you know. There's no PFP, no avatar.
Nope. Just a white box.
They're drifting out little comments like that. Very, very subversive.
It's like the Beatles' White Album of our comments today.
Argentina has a great record with the bond market. LOL. Predatory lending. Milei ran a memcoin scam. This guy's a real piece of work, you know, with the chainsaw and Elon. Remember that? They were celebrating what a great job he did before he did anything.
Do you think Elon hooked him up? Maybe he had Big Balls call him and tell him how to do a proper pump and dump or something. I mean, that was pretty epic.
A few people they were saying they would commit suicide online. I saw some videos after they lost all their money because they followed Elon's tip on or Milei or whatever. I mean, how much money did Elon make on that pump and dump? Probably made a few.
Good question.
We don't know. We'd like to know though. Ruckus was here. Is that Ruckus or the shadow of Ruckus?
Yep.
I could have sworn that Pat dropped an F-bomb earlier. It's unconfirmed.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
You're gonna have to watch the tape. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Argentina was about bailing out hedge fund friends of Trump. Could be. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past these people. Anything's possible. Did Milei cry at the wall? Milei was bawling at the wall. He kissed the wall. He cried at the wall. He went all out. His original name is Milikowski, but it's been truncated. It's the same as Netanyahu's. Oh, there he is. Let me just full screen that. Hesher's put the image up there. Look, there it is. That's exactly right.
There he is wailing.
He's at the Wailing Wall. Milei. What a joke, that guy. He invited people to a political rally, ended up being a concert with him singing. That's kind of weird. It's, you did, Patrick. Magnificent. So I did drop an F-bomb. I don't remember. I'm having cognitive dissonance because I don't want to admit it, so I don't have to put any money in the swear jar. So, yeah, the wall is amazing. The wall. Well, to J.D. Vance's credit, he actually visited the Holy Church of the Sepultura in which is the Holy Christian Church, which most U.S. leaders don't even go to. In fact, nobody goes. They go to kiss the wall, and that's it. And so, hats off to J.D. Vance for finally breaking through that religious barrier and actually visiting a Christian church in the Holy Land. Big round of applause. J.D. Vance. So giving us the Christian side of Judeo-Christian. Finally, someone's delivering there. Wonderful. Crush with the eyeliner. Does he wear eyeliner? It seems like it.
Yeah.
Seems like it. There are guys who do that. They wear the eyeliner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Trey and Matt on South Park are capitalizing on that. Their version of J.D. Vance is absolutely hilarious. They've modeled him after Tattoo from Fantasy Island. So Donald Trump is like, the Fantasy Island poobah, and J.D. Vance is this tiny little micro man that runs around going, "Boss, boss."
He's heavy on the eyeliner. Guyliner says.
Guyliner, yep.
Mori Yukuri 3229. The guyliner. I can't. I mean, the best makeup studio. When I went to RT, remember RT America when that was on air? I did a segment at RT America, and they have a makeup room there. It's like a Hollywood makeup room. There's like 4 chicks in there. Everyone's getting made up. They got programs running. 4 like really hot makeup artist chicks, like generally. And then they put the thing on you. They're putting on the makeup. And it was just all a little bit too much. But anyway, and it's just like, yeah, but they could have put some guyliner on there. I suppose if I was a host of one of their shows, I might get guyliner.
Right. You just got guest treatment, so just a little powder for you. But
see, look right now. See, there's nothing. See that? There's nothing. It's have normal colored under the eye. But if I was vice president, that would be black.
Yes.
Right? That would be black. Is Peter Thiel is gay, right? Well, look, this is the thing, guys. This is the thing. Yeah, that's known. He is. That leaked out. He was very upset when that leaked out, by the way. Does Rick Sanchez get guyliner? He might do. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, gay liner. Here we go. Now we're getting into it. So MAGA is just becoming fake and gay. That's sort of where we're heading. It's become a parody of itself at this point. It's gone through that phase, and now it's F and G. What comes after F and G? I mean, when Hegseth is so vain, so self-preening, it's a little bit disconcerting. And it's borderline G. You know what I mean? It's borderline G. The whole thing, and all those press corps websites we rattled off there. It's a bit G. It's a bit G. The whole MAGA's gone completely. Yeah, it's F and G. MAGA's, sorry guys, it's not cool. Yeah, the gaydar around Trump. It's all these top best. Scott Bessent, is Scott Bessent gay? Apparently, yes. Treasury Secretary is gay. He's running our economy. Peter Thiel's running the technocracy. He's gay as well. It's just interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, there we are. That's why Thiel sued Gawker out of existence using the Hulk Hogan case. Coincidentally, Nick Bryan's article, The Epstein List in Gawker, got taken out down too. Yes, well spotted. well spotted. The whole thing was this was a complete engineered situation. I think the Epstein list is what they really wanted to take down on that. In the Hulk Hogan case,
just convenient.
It was just bait. Yeah, easy. See, this is the cat says my gaydar is ringing off the hook with these guys. Yeah, I mean, even if they're not like in the sort of gender way, I mean, you know that saying this is completely gay. It's like an expression, means it's lame. That sort of, that's what we're saying here. It is lame. This cheap kind of fake media, MAGA theater. It's just stupid. The whole Turning Point thing is a joke as well. It's turned into a joke. There's nothing substantial about any of this stuff. It's just cheap kind of fodder, political fodder. It's really, I mean, just ridiculous. What can we say? Make America gay again. There's a little cowboy there. Oliver Williams. Yeah, MAGA. Trump, the hat's going pink. The hat's going pink. Yeah. Sorry, guys, we're really digressing here, but the whole thing is getting stupid.
It is. If we can't laugh at this stuff, Pat, I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, I'm gonna retire early if I can't have fun with this kind of stuff, because so much of it is straight out of the circus.
Yeah. Sam Altman was his sister's first client. Oh, don't you start, you guys. That's horrible, but probably true. Paying fealty. Peter Thiel is not gay. I retract my statement. No, well, he admitted he is, so. But you can retract it anyway. Why would a cat care about owning that or not? That's weird.
Good kitty.
Here we go. He's still waiting for ChatGPT to tell him that he is. Well, there we are. Eyes wide shut parties. Speaker Johnson is clearly okay. You guys are just completely out of control. We laid out the bait and you guys are running with it. Speaker Johnson is, Speaker Johnson's a bit creepy, a bit too smooth talking, a little bit creepy.
There might be there.
Sam Altman. Oh, don't you guys start. Is it true? Could be. I don't know. This is the Tech Bros. What do we know?
Patrick, I can almost hear in the distance all of our viewers and listeners' chat GPTs going, do. Yes, so-and-so is gay. No, so-and-so is not gay. Yes, so-and-so is gay. Everybody's got their AIs out right now. Just going, is this guy gay? Is this one gay?
Yeah, we put an end to this. We got to put an end to this. It's just spun out of control. All we're saying, guys, is that this is a bad look. That's all we're saying. This is not a good look. And again, they continue. You guys will not let this go, will you? Nope.
Dr. Susan. Notice on the poster, Pat, it doesn't say again. I guess Israel thinks they've just always been great, right? Because it doesn't say make Israel great again.
Eternally great. That's right. Donald Trump is clearly goy. There we are. Now things are getting back on track. Back on track. Oof. This is like, I mean, the stuff you guys are saying in the chat it's just out of control. You even bringing Alex Karp into this. I mean, this is mayhem. It's total chaos right now in the comments. What have we done, Hesher?
I don't know. I think we may get booted from the YouTube after this.
Look at this. Donald Trump purchases hair from Madeleine Albright. You guys are out of control. You can't do this, you guys. You can't keep throwing this crazy stuff out. Like,
you're animals. You're absolute animals.
This is a peak chat moment, says Photon Belt. He's recognized what this is. This is peak chat right now. Look at this. Pittsburgh dude comes in with the bases are loaded. Pittsburgh dude hits it out of the park. Wow. Just like the Bambino. He raised his bat to right field and swung. Pete Buttigieg is straight.
For the
Thank
fences.
you very much. See, this is how we're rolling right now. You guys are really out of control. Look at the comments just come flying in. There's like hundreds of comments that just coming in, and
we've riled the hornet's nest here, Pat.
we've energized the comment threads. I mean, so much energy coming in now. This is shows you how shallow you guys are really as an audience. You're really running with this, aren't you? Look at Tulsi Gabbard. I bet she regrets being involved with a bunch of mobsters. Well, she's not protesting it. I think she's been promised a seat at the table in 2028.
Fair question, though. I haven't seen her lately.
Yeah, she should have resigned when Trump threw her under the bus over the Iranian intelligence.
Yep.
I would have supported her forever if she did that. There'd have been permanent street cred. That's street cred, like tattooed right on your. I mean, forever. You're just a G, and you will always be a G. But now she's just compromised. She's lost her street cred, and then that's why she's keeping a low profile. And Trump's going to stick her in the closet anyway, because he's gone against her, even indirectly. It was too much for Trump. Trump's ego is so fragile that even if you don't openly go against him, you just happen to put a report out that goes against something he said later. Trump translates that as you're against me, and so you go basically into the cupboard of the cabinet. Oh, Alex Karp is a weirdo. I know.
Oh man, that guy. I don't understand.
Kushner is a little dainty. Oh my God, there's a clip of Steve Witkoff and Kushner going around the net. I don't know if you've seen that, Hesher. And they're being interviewed by Leslie Stahl, I think, from 60 Minutes. And Witkoff is spilling the beans, and Kushner's like panicking during the interview. He's like openly panicking. I'm going to find this clip. Actually, I'm going to play this because it's just so priceless. I mean,
okay, good, because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'm going to get this. Hold on. Kushner and Witkoff. And yeah, Kushner and Witkoff. Let me see if I can get this. Oh my God, I can't believe this. These things are this is a real picture. Okay, we're gonna have to go. We're going commando. We're bringing Twitter on the URL here. Hesher.
Here we go.
We're going commando here, folks. Sorry, we're doing a departure here.
Unwashed internet.
This is going to get ugly, folks. This is going to get really ugly. What I'm about to show you, you're really not going to be the same. This is an actual photo of Kushner and Witkoff from 2 weeks ago. That is weird. What's with the desert camo, Witkoff? Seriously? Is that your getup? There they are. I mean, really going at it together at the wall. That's just strange. Well, let's look at the video here. There we go. There's Jared doing it. That's actually a Roman garrison wall. It's not the wall of the temple, but of course, nobody wants to talk about that. It's so they're praying to an old Roman garrison, which is bizarre. But anyway, here they are. That's the interview right there. The master plan for Gaza. Let me see. Oof, I got it here. Okay, folks, here we go. Get ready. This is this is 60 Minutes, and let me see if we got this on stage or not. Yeah, we got a clear look there. Watch the look on Jared Kushner's face when Del Boy spills the beans on the whole thing. It's just, it's quite amazing. Let me see. Yeah, we got that full screen. Love that. Watch this.
Well, part of the plan is the reconstruction, the rebuilding of Gaza. And you're builders. You've been in real estate. As you said, it's extremely complex. Tell us more about the plan and how much it's going to cost. Where's the money going to come from? And who's going to award the contracts? 3 questions.
I think it's going to cost a lot of money.
What's a lot of money?
The estimates are in the $50 billion range. It might be a little bit less. It might be a little bit more. I happen to think that that's not a lot of money in that region. You have governments that are going to jump on in, and
So the Middle East countries are going to provide the money.
What you'll see European participation and so forth. I think the beginning of this plan is how to get it going, and that's what me and Jared work on all the time. The money raising we think is the easy part. We think that happens relatively quickly, but it's the master plan, and we're working with a group of people who have been working on master plans for the last 2 years.
So there are plans already.
We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, and Jared's been pushing this, and we're working together on it. And
Shut up, Steve.
For the progress so far.
Look at the look on his face. I mean, you just can't. That's just priceless. Look at this. Look at he's
right there.
He's saying something to himself. Kushner's like he's mumbling something.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, no, Steve, no, you're not supposed to say that. No, but he has to keep it quiet. I mean, these guys, what a couple of shysters, these two.
He was so upset at her question too. He made the same set of mumbles and faces when she laid out her 3-part question.
Look at him. Look at him. What's his lips? What's with the tongue?
It's the lizard coming out.
What the? What is that?
The reptilian.
I mean, these guys are caught really right there. I mean, it's just. Let me see. Let's get that rolling.
We have plans already. We have a master plan already. And by the way, and Jared's been pushing this.
Jared.
We're working together on it. And I think if the world saw the progress so far, they'd be pretty impressed.
Oh, we've seen the progress, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hellscape. Let's take a look at the progress again.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case you guys want to see the progress. If you've seen the progress, Jared's been working on it a long time. He's really done a great job. Raising the money is no problem. We're going to get a deal, property deal in Gaza. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's look at the progress. Your father-in-law, Donald Trump, Jared. He's telling us what a great, what a big beautiful thing this is. This
The best weapons in the world, and we've got a lot of them, and we've given a lot to Israel, frankly. I mean, Bibi would call me so many times, can you get me this weapon, that weapon, that weapon? Some of them I never heard of, Bibi, and I made them. But we'd get them here, wouldn't we? And they are the best. They are the best. But you used them well. It also takes people that know how to use them. And you obviously used them very well. But so many that Israel became strong and powerful, which ultimately led to peace. That's what led to peace.
Yeah, great piece there. That's a real one of Trump's one of his 8 sort of wars that he supposedly started. I mean, they're still fighting though, so I guess it's not a peace deal, is it, Donald? But I don't want to rain on his parade. Donald's having so much fun doing his victory lap on this. B.R. Tanner says Patrick and Hesh are having too much fun. Gallows humor, my friend. Gallows humor. Yeah,
indeed.
Final solution. Yeah, we just white-outed final solution. Called it the master plan. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, who can't see it? Even the freaking cat can see it.
Is Kushner? What is the deal with Kushner, man? He just looking at him. Yeah, I think Milton Sophie there said what I was about to say. There's something inhumane. I'm not sure. There's I was kidding about the reptile thing, but there's a strange reptilian quality to that guy. He
said he's like Zuckerberg Data from Star Trek. He's malfunctioning. He had a malfunctioning moment there.
Yes. Well, Photon in the chat earlier said that he looks like a Romulan. So I think we're onto something there. There is sort of a space alien thing going on there with that dude.
He kind of reminds me of Damien from The Omen.
Yeah.
Damien grew up
right.
Like that's a little bit. Yeah. There's Photon right there. He looks like a Romulan. I think that's a bit mean on the Romulans race.
Yeah.
I mean, watch it there, Photon. Watch it. Easy now. Don't diss the Romulans. That's racialism, isn't it? Right. See, this is just like, yeah, we've see how we gracefully move the conversation on.
Yes.
Oh gosh, what kind of hammer has Kushner ever handled? Yeah, Arm & Hammer baking soda,
perhaps,
maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah.
What a bunch of scam artists. These guys are just complete little crooks.
Mm-hmm. In your face. Like that's the whole thing about like the, getting back to the First Amendment thing and the journalists all, resigning, doing their fake resign, whatever, protest. What the hell?
See, I got that right. Roman wall, yes, verified. Yeah, the whole thing is just a complete myth. Kissing the wall. Look at that. This is how it is, guys. Kushner is going to do a Glengarry Glenn Ross type of deal. Timeshares in Gaza. He's got good effing leads in Gaza. You remember that film? You ever see that film, Glengarry Glenn Ross?
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah.
Brutal film. But probably Ed Harris, Al Pacino.
I think so.
It's a brutal movie. It's brutal, but the acting in that is insane. Like that's a really great, disturbing and fantastic bit of acting. Glengarry Glenn Ross. Yep, proof they're wailing walls in old Roman glory. Yep. Okay. Trump crime family, no different than the Biden crime family. Is there a difference, really, at the end of the day?
Hey, mobster tactics are mobster tactics. They may be dealing with different clients and patrons, but tactics remain the same.
Yeah, but that was a classic clip. I mean, just to watch the Kushner.
Talk about emperors wearing no clothes. That was it right there.
Yep. Jack Lemmon. Yeah, Jack Lemmon was in Glengarry Glenn Ross. The great legend, Jack Lemmon.
And Alec Baldwin, too. Hey.
Yeah. And Kevin Spacey.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
A proper sleazeball.
Yeah.
He plays a great sleazeball.
Now we know why.
Yeah. I mean, what a cast. I mean, it's a tour de force. It's a tour de force. Yeah. Coffee is for closers. Yeah. See, I think our work is done here, Hesher. We've raised the conversation to highbrow Hollywood boutique films from the gutter of J.D. Vance's eyeliner and the gender confusion within the MAGA movement. We've done a great job. So hopefully we don't trigger a descent back into that hellhole pit that we managed to climb out of with hard work here. I mean, you guys, it's hard work. It's like herding cats, literally, this comment section. You guys are terrible. Yeah. So we'll see. Well, yeah, will Trump shut down South Park if it gets too close to the bone?
That's what I've been asking. I mean, it doesn't get any closer to the bone than what Trey and Matt are doing in the most recent episodes. I mean, even Ruckus came out of television retirement after like 20 years to watch because I talked to him about it so much, and we were just blown away. Like I've watched every episode from the most recent ones more than once, and it is. I can't believe they haven't been sued yet. I don't understand why it's allowed to go on. Like. They're doing things that people like us weren't even allowed to do for a very long time.
Yeah. Not gay. Not gay.
Definitely.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Look, we're going to wrap up this stream. Appreciate it. Yeah. Raise the guy, bro. Patrick, well done. You got it. You got it. That's what we do. That's what we do. This is why we're hosting. That's why we're hosting, because we can do that. We can bring it back from the brink. We brought it back from the absolute brink. So lowbrow. The conversation was just really just going downhill and quick. and we pulled it back. We pulled you guys back from the brink. Maybe there's a chance to save MAGA.
It's because we're professionals. We do professional stuff around here.
Yeah, we're professionals. It's Jason Statham. We're professionals. Professionals doing a job. We got a job. A job. Okay. Thanks, guys. Great show. Yeah, appreciate you, Chloe Cuddles. Yeah, big cuddle back to you. Great show. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. Hesher, thank you very much. Your final thoughts, and we're going to wrap up this eventful Sunday Wire.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
What's
Well,
what's cooking this week?
Well, first off, thanks for having me. Really, really good show. Thanks everybody for participating, watching, listening. We appreciate that. And we did Boiler Room Friday night this week. It's not up on the website yet. I'm a little backlogged on my post-production, but it is on all our video streaming channels. So that would be X under Hesher Media. That would be Boiler Room at Rumble. And that would be Alternate Current Radio at YouTube. Just to make things spicy for you, you got to look several different places until I get that on the website. The website is alternatecurrentradio.com. We'll get caught up tomorrow probably. I think I owe Patrick an edit too for last week's show, so I will get caught up. I apologize for that. And hopefully we'll see you Thursday night for another Boiler Room. We had a good time on the Friday night Boiler Room. If you missed it, go check it out. Support us at alternatecurrentradio.com and 21stcenturywire.com. Thanks for having me, and have a great rest of the weekend.
Yeah, there's the Boiler Room up there, folks. That's Alternate Current Radio. And also, a reminder, Ruckus and Hesher, of course, doing absolute sterling job at ACR. So you want to support them. Visit their website, alternatecurrentradio.com. You want to definitely be a patron of that network as well. And we don't endorse this type of activity here. Nope, we don't endorse that. But if you have to, that's fine. It is a Sunday, by the way. You should be taking it easy. Good evening, all. Thank you very much. And that's just the way that rolls. Hesher, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to everybody and all you guys in the chat room. Absolutely sterling effort there, keeping everything rolling for us. We really appreciate that. And we'll be seeing you guys during the week. Visit 21stcenturywire.com. Find our articles. Share the links on social media. We're putting out viral videos. We need you to share those YouTube shorts. And this show, too. This show. Share on Twitter, on X, Facebook, etc., Instagram, or wherever, TikTok, wherever you are, whatever platforms you're on. We need your help sharing this, especially the stuff that we do on YouTube. It really, we're so suppressed by Google and YouTube that we need physical help to get our content out. And also, if you guys find it within your great heart and your generosity, and you like the work that we're doing and you want to support us, we need your support. Come to our website, to 21stcenturywire.com. You'll see this type of page there. Hit the gold button in the upper left-hand corner there. Donate, and you'll get this. All different avenues for supporting this website, as well as our investigative work. Obviously, the live show, Sunday Wire, Midweek Wire, but there's a lot more going on, as you'll see when you're at our website. Plus, we have an archive of over 10,000 articles and videos, which we published since our maiden voyage a while back, late 2009, early 2010. That's when we started. So yeah, we've been around for a while, about 15 years. So we're going to be around longer as well. So we are a good organization to support. I know you probably support other content creators, but know that we've been around. We tend to be around and continue making an impact where it matters. So do check out and share our investigative work as well. Pat loaded a couple of my comments on X. These guys are great. Thank you, Gunther. Appreciate it, mate. We really appreciate it. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, guys. Great content. Yeah, you better believe it. Right back at you, buddy. So that's all we got time for today, folks. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. This is the Sunday Wire episode 566 of this weekly omnibus news and analysis and TV program here on alternatecurrentradio.com. There's the ticker at the bottom. Hopefully you guys can support us going forward, but that's all we have time for today. We'll be closing up this broadcast, but really appreciate it. We'll go out with some music from one of our great friends, Red Rumble. Great band, great video, great message. Take care, you guys. All the best.
For in the final analysis, we all inhabit this small planet, and we are all mortal.
Lately I've been watching the world gone mad. Brothers and sisters full to take a stand, to hate their fellow man, another man. Divide and conquer is the acronym plan. Distract the people, control the story. Don't believe your lying eyes, you know me. Stay in power, no matter what. Play with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gamble your trust, pushing us to turn to good. Corruption and lies, truth is the crime, will turn to gold. Well-designed misery to keep you on edge, make you believe anything anyone says. Keep it left or right, not top or bottom. Accuse the victim, can't you see we got 'em? Stay in power, no matter what. Playing with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gamble your trust, pushing us to turn to dust. We've captured rights, feudals our time, we'll turn to dust. Industrialized brutality, commercialized cruelty, people as commodity, cheer on war atrocity, no accountability, perpetual impunity, always have an enemy to hell of all humanity. Stay in power, no matter what. Play with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gamble your trust, pushing us to turn to dust. Stay in power, cash in the spot. Play with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and join the cause, pushing us to turn to dust. An empire of lies, history rhymes will turn to dust. Digital inmates, scored on every move. Nowhere to hide, nothing to hold on to. Turn to dust, as we turn to dust, as we turn to dust.